Yo, it's Fredo Saga. Live your own true cranial saga. So today we're gonna be talking about how I develop a $1 million mindset. So automatically, I can already tell some viewers are gonna come to this video and they're gonna already be in a negative state of mind. They're already gonna be in a negative perspective. Wow, how is this young guy gonna have $1 million mindset? Or how is this person gonna able to be achieving that, right? And automatically, first of all, right? That is exactly why your mind doesn't comprehend a different and elevated perspective, because whatever you have adjusted into and whatever your beliefs have seen as truth, right? If you believe that nobody else can be a millionaire in this world, then there's no opportunity for you to elevate in that space, right? So automatically, if you're one of those people, bro, then it might be this video is not for you, right? So I already know, I'm already predicting it, I'm already knowing, right? And the things that I wanted to talk about, right? The reasons why a lot of people cannot elevate their perspective is because it becomes uncomfortable with them, right? When it comes to money, mainly because we all grew up and we've been dependent into our trusted partners, our trusted family members, our trusted friends, and we all receive different perspectives about money. So when it comes into us seeing other wealthy people, or basically enough seeing people being successful, we're like, damn, that is impossible. I can never get successful. Oh, I can never do that, right? It's too hard, it's difficult. But that is exactly what your mind wants you to think, because what your mind is that it's much more comfortable in a negative space, right? So comfortable in your version of your in that self-image, instead of it being comfortable with that image of you being your best self, right? Which is, I guess, successful, rich, wealthy, more abundant, and more appreciative about life. And instead, you just counter attacking every potential journey that you can have in order for you to have a better self-validated way to live your best life, right? And so the first thing actually was stop crashing out about money, bro. Stop crashing about money. A lot of people tend to crash out when it comes to money because they materialize it so much. They empower it so much that it becomes something internally within them, and it controls them, right? So let's say, for example, you owe a payment, or you just go to the mail and you receive the payment that you haven't like paid and it's due, and you're looking at it like, man, what? Oh my gosh, I have a lot of payments, and automatically you're in this stressful emotional state. You're welling into this negative space, right? And however you feel like the world would just run behind you, right? However you feel like the world will just run behind you on however you feel. If you feel like the world is just giving you too much paychecks, giving you too much payments, and at the end of the day, you feel like you're lacking, you feel like you're impatient, right? You feel like you're desperate to get more, then that will be your own reality. One of the major keys that I love to tell a lot of people is to stay ignorant, right? To still live and remind to still live and remind yourself on who you are, because at the end of the day, right, one of the biggest keys of manifestation is that you internally are in it right now. You're in your current manifestation form right now. So whenever you are stressing about money, whenever you are overthinking about money, if you see yourself as a wealthy person as your desired image, you're basically contradicting yourself, right? You're breaking the code, you're breaking the rule. So now life is gonna be like, oh, so you believe that if I give you this amount of paychecks, right, and you believe that you are poor, you believe that you're a lack of funds, right, then this will be your reality. And the more you need it, bro, the less you will have it, because it works in a way where you have to reverse engineer it, right? Would you ever stress about breathing, right? Whenever you take a deep breath, right, with you're just breathing normally, do you ever be like, wow, I needed that? Or wow, I'm so grateful I was breathing right now. Wow, I actually needed that, right? You actually don't. You just see it as normal. You're so attached from it that you don't even care about it, right? And that is 99% of what millionaires have within their own perspective towards money. They make it normal as it is, or even so, they don't even think about it, bro. It passes through like nothing. And they seem it like you just walk around, they just live their own lives, and money is just behind them, right? And that is the most beautiful perspective about everything. This doesn't have to do anything about money anyways, right? This could be anything else about, let's say, for example, relationships or a career or a position that you want to be. As long as you make it normal, bro, your perspective and your confidence is just gonna be breaking all over it, right? You are much more powerful than whatever it is externally. And I'm 100% reassured from this, right? Because at the end of the day, have you ever heard that saying of how a millionaire can lose it all and he can regain it all? You see how that works, right? Because a millionaire never loses his image. He knows his desired image, right? He is his own manifestation form in a natural state. He is not working to be. He is not constantly trying to be robotically who trying to achieve his desired self. No, that is something that he is. He represents himself in that image, right? And that is how my most wealthy people work. Technically, if we were to use this context or this concept into we are wealthy by breeding, right? It's the same thing. How you don't see money as easy as you are breathing right now, right? It should be the same perspective. And the reason why a lot of people don't have this perspective is because their mind right now is like, hey, don't think about that, bro. Why would you think about that? That's bullshit. And that's exactly why your mind cannot comprehend on an elevated perspective because it finds it uncomfortable, right? And even that, even take a start perspectives. When you try to do better things, when you try to work in a service or when you start a business, trying to get a bigger position or trying to do a different switch on your career, right? Your mind will find it uncomfortable either way, right? Because it's a lack of self validation and it's a lack of elevated perspective and confidence, bro. And it all continues and all dwells within it just a weakening presence. And that's how most people do not become successful, right? Sadly, that's how it works. So, however you feel, the world is gonna just gonna run behind what it is, and your actions behind it is gonna be the same polarity of however you feel like, right? So if you have a lack of money perspective and you don't have that much confidence on money, then whatever you do action wise to receive money is gonna be a lack of confidence as well, right? Because you believe you cannot attain that, right? And the whole purpose for you is to grow your business, be better to service the environment, and have an exchange of value, right? But at the end of the day, you don't even have confidence in your business. You don't even have confidence in your service or whatever you're trying to do because of your lack of perspective about money, right? Man, stop empowering money, bro. Just make it normal as it is, as if it was the bro, it most easiest thing ever because that is true. And a lot of people have that perspective, so why wouldn't you have it, right? Don't even worry about money no more, just right? Just worry about fixing your belief system, right? Just think about how you can start having a different belief system, have an elevated perspective, and ask yourself, why is it that I believe in this so much when there's other people that believe the opposite, the contradiction of it, right? So that's number one. Start questioning out about money because at the end of the day, if you do question about money, bro, then that's gonna be simply your reality, and sadly, that is gonna be what your life is gonna start attracting into, right? So, like I said, number two is man, normalize money as if it was easy as breathing, and that is exactly how you should start seeing manifestation as well. A lot of people don't manifest because they have a wrong idea of manifestation. Either they depend on life externally to keep revolving on them, or they depend on changing the world in order for them to think that it's manifestation. But manifestation is something that once you start detaching from it and you stop depending on it on the real world and you just give it to yourself internally and you move as if you were living in your own manifestation world right now, that is the true key of manifestation. And that is basically the same tool that I'm using for this whole concept right now for money, but I want to make sure that I want to simplify it for different concepts because at the end of the day, right, you might not know you want to right what you want to manifest, but when it comes into money, money is pretty much like what how everybody wants to move, how everybody wants to achieve success, better positions, better terms in life, and money is one of the things that can solve that, right? So number three is live as your desired income. If some reason you haven't hit your certain income, it is because something's holding you back, right? Right. Let me ask you this: why do you think there's a certain little small pullback that is making you not hit your annual income? Your desired income, let's say for that, right? Let's say for example, right, you believe that, let's just have for example, you do roofs, you have a roofing company, right? If you truly believe that, and during winter, it's the slowest month ever to work on just because it is colder and just because the weather might be a little bit in a disadvantage. If you believe that will be your most slowest month ever, then that will be your slowest month ever. But 100%, there will be other companies who are you currently probably see or probably competing with you, or just other companies that do the same work as you that earn twice as you what you earn in that same month. And it's because they probably don't even think about that, bro. They probably just believe that every month, no matter what, every month is the same. So why is it that, bro, just because of weather, it's gonna slow down your income, right? Why is it that you have that perspective when there's what's another company that is the same company as you, same service as you, that they don't even believe in that. They just go straight, get leads, check their emails, right? Check their website, check for more estimates, call up the clients and check up on them, and they get the closing range, right? They get to close them, they get the appointment, and boom, they go straight to work. Minor things like that, it could be the smallest details ever, bro. It could be as small as you checking up with your clients, right? Going to your website, going to your reviews, going to your social medias, bro. It could be the smallest that could make a change. It's just certain symptoms that is not making you attracted to do that just because your beliefs are going downwards and it's basically not servicing you at all. And that was just like a little example that I just created, right? This can be implemented into anything, even for door sales. I used to do door, and we used to believe that in winter it was slower because it was more colder, right? But at the end of the day, one of the best keys for you to close someone is to make them trust you, and to make the homeowner make you feel as home. And that was the whole key. Why is it that you're pitching someone in the outside when you can just pitch them inside and be comfortable with them and be friends with them, right? And that is one of the keys that we learned, right? We never hold into that perspective. We realized that was bullshit. We realized that, hey, winter, what? Bro, it's just colder. It's just a different weather. What's the difference? It's just because it's a little bit colder does not mean that we gotta slow down our time in the doors, right? No, we kept it pushing, and even me, I was like self-aware about it. I was like, what? That really doesn't make sense. I know it's a little bit more colder, but it doesn't mean that it would slow my money down, right? And it never did, right? So, moving on to the what is this? This is the fourth one, right? And trust and don't dwell. One of the things is that obviously there's gonna be situations that are trying to come into your life and try to put you back away from your best perspective. There's gonna be certain situations, certain experiences, certain environments, certain people, certain background problems, certain unnecessary problems that come into your way that are gonna try to put you back, bro. But you need to trust your, believe yourself, and trust the process. And this is one of the most freaking things that a lot of people tend to fail on. They go back, oh nah, this is bullshit, bro. You know what? I blame my life. I blame God. I blame everything. What am I actually doing here? This mindset is bullshit. Boom, you just went back into the worst position you can be. And the reason why I say worst position is because you consciously were aware of it and you choose to have believed it. You consciously had a moment of thought and you said, no, this is bullshit. I don't know what I'm doing. Why am I even thinking about this, bro? Right? So you're already contradicting your best self, right? And that is exactly what life tries to do. It tries to put you back into the position you were. And 100%, if you really didn't believe in yourself, if you really didn't trust the process, it was because of that reason. It's because you let life control you. You let life materialize your emotions and automatically controlled everything and dwelled within a negativity. And this is actually my favorite conversation about this whole video because trust and don't dwell is basically the reason why a lot of people fail at this. And it's okay, right? Just because sometimes you do pay attention into the negativity and sometimes you believe it's bullshit, it's okay. Because if you were once able to be self-aware, to at least try to change, right? To try align with your best self, that is a change, bro. That is the best key to change. But bro, you have to be disciplined. And I'm not telling you it is not difficult, right? For me, I believe it's easy, right? Even though there was outcomes, there was a lot of things that were pulling me back, but at the end of the day, I stayed disciplined. And one of the biggest keys of manifestation, or simply enough staying on who you are to present this desired image that you want to have, is you have to work in an offensive way and a defensive way. You have to be defensive on who you truly want to be, and you had to be offensive on trying to attack, not going back into your older versions, older lack of perspective version, low confidence version, I don't trust in the process version, or I believe everything is fake. I believe everything is not real. I believe that getting wealthy, being successful is fake as version. So you never want to go back into that, bro. Trust me. You never want to go back into that because that will be your own reality. And that's simply a conscious, self aware decision that you have to make. And if you did it, nobody can be blamed but yourself. Nobody can be blamed by yourself, bro. This has been wrote in books, scripture, even in the Bible, bro. Millions of people have done this, bro. And if they're able to do it, there's no difference, bro. There's literally no difference, right? There's no difference between me and a wealthy person. There's no difference between me or someone who has a higher income than me. There's no difference between you and me. Nothing, bro. Nothing, right? It's just the way that you perceive yourself. It's the way you move, and it's the way that you align yourself with who you are. And you basically just make it as natural as it seems. It's not bullshit, bro. It's not bullshit because if it was bullshit, then nobody here would have been successful. Realistically, nobody here would have been successful, right? And not even about that. Nobody here would have been living in this reality. That's basically what I'm trying to say, right? And well, moving into 5 is the less you need it, the more it will come. So once you learn how to detach from something that you desire, the less you need it, the more it will come. Because at the end of the day, you're not really trying to achieve it, and it's you reverse engineering it, right? And it's the same concept as if, right? Let's say, for example, as breathing, right? Or as you going to sleep, or as you simply enough talking to that girl that wants you so bad and you wanted her, right? You wanted her, but then at the end of the day, you didn't like her. So now you don't want her no more, and now she's trying to get at you. It's the same thing. It's reverse engineering, and it's a lot of attraction because once you become this image, right? Once you become your desired image, everything that you want, it just seems that it just comes as easily as they go, right? They come and go, and it's that easy, right? So once you normalize a certain thing, it's basically like something that's you already got it before, or you already basically unlimited have it. So it's kind of like the same thing as whenever you play a video game and at the end of the day you beat it so much, you beat it so many times that it just gets boring. And like, oh my gosh, I beat this game like how many times? 30 times already. So boring now. It's the same thing, right? So you just keep acquiring the rewards so easily because you don't even try to beat it no more. You don't even externally put your emotions within it. It just comes, right? And talk about is the wrong thing about perspectives, right? Be aware. Check your perspectives about money. Ask yourself, what is my perspective about money? What is my position? What is the actual position that I want to be in, right? Do I want to be in a position where I have to work hard, I have to wake up and basically do a lot of extra stuff in order for me to get money? Or do I want to be in a position that I'm basically self-employed, I basically don't do a lot of work and I basically get a lot of money? What career do you want? Simply ask yourself that. What career do you want? Emotion wise, check yourself emotionally. If money controls my emotions, then it will control your reality. If it's negatively or positively, right? And then check your check. Desperation is the biggest key here. Stop being desperate for money. The less you need it, the more it will come. When you become desperate, basically you becoming needy, and that is the worst. That is basically the opposite of manifestation. Most people who are desperate, they will always try alternative ways. They will never know themselves in a true way. That everything that they do is just a lack of everything. It just becomes a lack of confidence, a lack of elevated perspective. I always say a lack of elevated perspective because that is true. Your perspective about everything, if I see a person who's desperate, I just know that they're lack of perspective. They don't really know what they want, realistically, right? So desperation, make sure you never desperate for money. Be patient and just act and live as if your desired income was right now. And stop questioning out about money, bro. Stop questioning about my money, but that's about it, man. I was gonna write more, but clearly enough, my board is not that big, right? But this is how I developed $1 million mindset, and automatically a lot of changes have come, right? But this is Fredo Saga. Live your own true cranial saga. Y'all go like the video, man, and y'all just subscribe to me. Y'all go check out my other social medias. It should be like on my profile bio. Check out my Instagram, my TikTok. I'll be there daily, and